Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio.
We might be rolling. I Botox under my arm. Look at the back. It's fully back. What the fuck? I needed my money back.
And with that, we're going to welcome you to the Calm Down podcast. Charissa's armpits are sweating, and the bags under my eyes couldn't be more visible.
We're going to talk about Kelly
who
Stafford,
just finished his season.
But her and I already are sweating. I mean, my God, the things. What's happening? Why do you have bags under your eyes?
What's happening is we have our matchup for the Super Bowl. The Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow, and the Los Angeles Rams. Mm-hmm. Congratulations to both of those teams. What a weekend it was, and we're going to cover it. But hey, if any of you want to get ready for the Super Bowl, guys, do I have a couple of fun garments for you. This is our Super Bowl sweatshirt that's available for Wear by Erin Andrews on Fanatics. We also have a really, really cute t-shirt, and we've actually got two really cute t-shirts. I'll be modeling them throughout the Calm Down podcast IG, but you can pick them up on Fanatics. Holy shit, that was an awesome Sunday.
We'll get to all these things in a second. I have a random door behind me. I'm in Las Vegas. I will tell you why. We have a special guest on the podcast today. For those of you avid listeners, you will be familiar with this individual. But the Super Bowl matchup is set. 56 is upon us. And where do we begin? You work the NFC Championship game. Go.
Work the NFC Championship game, but while we're setting up for the NFC Championship, the AFC is going on. So it's crazy. I didn't get to see I saw a couple highlights, but I didn't get to see the full-blown highlights really until yesterday. Jarrett and I sat at home and we had lunch together and just said, let's look up all the highlights from the AFC, because as that's going on, we're trying to set up for our game. Mm-hmm. Charissa, you were there. As the Bengals are starting to move towards, the end zone to try to score, field goals being set up. I mean, that place is going bananas. Clearly, a lot of people at SoFi cheering for Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. And that's just what happens when somebody's won forever. We know that, like we said about Tom Brady. That's what happens when people win for a long time. They want the underdog to go. They want Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm. It was the AFC Championship game is on the massive second projector at SoFi. My neck hurt looking up at it because it is so big. But yeah, what a finish. What a freaking stud, man. Like, we know
Evan McPherson, go Gators.
I mean, where are the pom-poms? But, I'm so excited for him. Look, Patrick Mahomes is going to be in this league for a long time and have a lot of success. And congratulations to him on the success he's had so far. Travis Kelce, we love, etc. But I'm really thrilled for the fan base of the Bengals. They, waited 31 years to even get a playoff victory, and now they're off to the Super Bowl. And same thing for the Rams. We'll get into the specifics in a second, but two great guys, as the face of their franchises between Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford. It's going to be a great matchup here in LA. Now, are you going to go to the game?
I don't know. Undecided. I just checked my Instagram and apparently Kelly said I am. So there's that. But so many levels and so many things to cover with that. The energy in SoFi was awesome. I know there was a lot of talk leading up to that game about would there be more 49ers fans than Rams fans. Either way, I think whoever had the ball, it was really, really loud. Mm-hmm. And then I was listening to Pat McAfee today talk about when the Rams were, they won and they were on the podium. It was really loud in general. People were just pumped. That game was so physical and so intense. I know you were up and down from the Stafford suite. You came on the sidelines with me a little bit. I kept turning over my shoulder and looking at you every time Debo would get the ball or the 49ers would move the ball. That was such a freaking physical battle.
Which it always is between them, right? I mean, and San Francisco having the edge the last 6 matchups between the two teams. I mean, it was just a matter of time. But obviously, you were working the game. So I remember saying, I was like, should I go to the game even if I'm not working? But I was like, of course I should go because we had it. I wanted to be there to support you and just hang out. And then, so the Rams, the Stafford suite's very superstitious. They're anything but superficial. Yeah. Very superstitious. And so each time, I would go up and down and something good or bad happened, I'd have to stay in the suite or I'd have to get out of the suite. And so I kept going back and forth, but just such an incredible moment. It's well documented how much we love them personally, but Kelly specifically, and just like such a, that everything that they've been through, whether it's for Matthew, the drought of a playoff victory, and just Kelly personally, and they're a very easy family to root for. But after it was decided that they won, and Kelly was going to go down to the field because they bring, it was with Cooper Kupp's wife and all the wives and girlfriends and stuff. Kelly's like, will you go down to the field with me? And I was like, of course I will. And so we're in the elevator on the way down, and she's like, shit, I forgot my phone. I was like, don't worry, I got you covered. I'll capture the moment, like the whole thing. I am an asshole in these videos, running, chasing her, looking for him on the field. I look like such an idiot, but it was so...
Was your phone not on? Why didn't you get the video?
Okay, so I think I'm crushing it. I'm like, I got all these moments. We get in the elevator.
That's a lot of pressure, by the way. That's a ton of pressure to have that job.
I was like, I was ready for it. I thought I was like, I got a high angle. I'm in boots. I'm up here. She's a little tiny thing. I was like, I've got it all covered. We get in the elevator afterwards. I was like, I got the best videos. What a moment. Her jumping into Matthew's arms. We get back into the suite, and all the blood rushes from my face. I didn't get anything. The footage went like this. And then it was me getting her shoes. And then the footage
what
was
happened?
I don't know, but I was like, fuck, I didn't get it. Now
you fumbled.
I fumbled. I threw an interception on the goal line. Whoa, Russell.
Hit you in the chest.
It was terrible. So I immediately text our friend and producer, Joel, and I'm like, who has access to all of Fox's footage. I was like, you've got to pull this moment for me. I fucking ruined this. And then he ended up, sending us these like incredible videos. But I was laughing so hard at me following her, thinking I'm like National Geographic, getting the cheetah, about to, pounce on their prey. And I got this moment, and I got none of it. But it was so much fun, and, enjoyed celebrating that with them, and felt, just so happy for them. But anyways,
yeah, I had discussed with her a lot leading up to this week how, look, Kelly, he's played for 13 years. I was dating my husband at the time that he was winning championships. And I just said, you got to promise me, because people don't get it, and that are outside of sports, how much of a labor of love. And I think you saw that today with Tom Brady's Instagram post of just thanking his family. You do miss a lot, and your wife ends up taking a lot. And Kelly is all in. She is all in to make that man happy, all in to make him comfortable, make him, be his best on game days. But I was listening to Pat McAfee this week just talk about it's so hard on the wives. And that guy's been on the worst team for the last 12 years. And she's the one he goes home to. And she's the one that's like, we got to be happy and peppy and bursting with love. And meanwhile, like, it sucks to go to work. Whoa. Oh, shoot. The buzzer. No, I haven't won 10 grand. I said the word like, so I have to give 10 grand. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Calm Down podcast, where I am trying to stop saying like. I'll tell you, what's really hard is when you watch 2 hours of The Bachelor, and that's what makes you want to concentrate on taking that word out of your vocabulary. Everything, I can't be charged with this, I can't be buzzed for this, is like, I don't know what Colton even thinks of her. Like what's happening? He doesn't even love me anymore. I can't.
So for those of you that don't know, Erin has made a concerted effort to omit the word like from her vocabulary. Our sweet producer Kurt will buzz her throughout this entire episode. That's what I'm going to work on, not saying the word every time she does it. Okay. It sucks to go to work when you're not winning. It's hard, and you don't want to bring that home to your wife, but you do. So she's obviously been through her health problems, and he's been a great, comfort and support through that. But that moment where she just screamed and found him, I sent it to a couple of my girlfriends who are hockey wives as well. And I just said, their husbands have won. And I said, imagine your husband being on the worst team for 12 years. And this was the moment he makes it. And both my girlfriends, Jackie Quick and Megan Carter, were like, oh my God, this is emotional. So
Frick, you're right. So I was so happy for Kelly, and I was really honored this week to make sure she enjoyed it, and because she was a part of it too. There was another moment I was going to say about her. Oh, I was walking the dog last night, talking to my sister on the phone, and we had a chance to get to know the Staffords a little bit in Montana. My entire family was there. Matthew and Kelly are the easiest people to be around and just laugh with and have a good time. Many drinks were had and stories, and he had just signed with LA. And my sister said last night, I will never forget. And she said, and I was thinking of this as you were interviewing him post game, that we all had a couple cocktails and we were in the back of a car. We weren't driving, and just talking about the season, and they were leaving the next morning. And I said, hey, Nine, I expect to get that interview on the field when you win this thing. And he was in the back and he's like, oh yeah, you know it. And my sister's like, and you got it. You got
so
it.
So cute. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it was cool.
It's that thing. And again, we're spending so much time talking about them, because I was saying to him when the game was over and we all had went out, I covered him. I covered the 0-16 season, and then he was the number 1 draft pick to the Detroit Lions after that. And I had so many games because I had so many assignments in the NFC North because I was on the C crew and had the bad teams over and over and over again. And I was like, dude, I'm just freaking happy for people that do it the right way. There's not one person that says a bad thing about him or her. They're easy to root for, and it's just nice to see them have success. And for Joe Burrow,
and if you do say a bad thing, you're an idiot. You don't know anything about the NFL or who he is. Yes,
boring.
And Joe Burrow. And boring. And I'm going to say this too, because I was on the sidelines. Good for Eric Weddle. I've always respected Aaron Donald, but I had an incredible conversation with him a couple weeks ago leading up to the Week 18 game. He was so candid and wonderful. And I'm starting, and I told you this, like with Tom, Brady, and then I said it to Aaron Donald. I really want to let these guys know it's just been a privilege to cover them. And I think that has a lot to do with John Madden passing and seeing, how much people have spoken about him and everything. I want them to know. So watching Aaron Donald want this so badly on the sidelines and getting the guys together and just giving that speech. There's so many great people that give everything, and I'm pumped for the game. I am.
I think what's interesting for me, I mean, as I'm, obviously been in this industry a long time with you, and I know what goes into your preparation for a game like the NFC Championship game. But where's that moment for you? And take us behind the curtain where, the game's about to start or during the national anthem, or what's your, sort of your feelings and your emotions when you're about to work? You've worked how many Super Bowls now? 3? You 3 Super Bowls? Okay.
I think so.
But it's your big stage too, for a moment like that, and all the preparation and 18 weeks of the regular season and playoffs and everything sort of culminating in that moment for you. Take us behind the curtain of what happens for you on game day.
You just don't want to mess up. I think it's the largest audience we'll have the whole season, because we don't have the Super Bowl, and this is it. Contracts up at the end of the year. You've worked your ass off. You know this matchup really well. The studio crew's there. The bosses are in the truck. Okay, I'm not throwing or catching anything out there on that field, but I don't want to fuck it up because it's the beginning of the game and everybody's watching. So you saw me. I mean, I'm a wreck. I'm pacing. I'm talking to myself. I get 15 seconds. That's my entire year in 15 seconds. And it's crazy. I'll start thinking Joe's going to throw to me, right? We're in commercial. And I'm like, how much longer in this commercial? Howie's dog walkers here. This is live. So they're like 30 seconds and you start thinking, okay, 30 seconds. What am I talking about? Who am I talking about? Matthew,
who?
Blank. What?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my God, will you stop it? Yes. So, it's a lot. There's a lot of mind games that happen. You just don't want to mess up. And then you saw me once it was over. Once it's over, it's like smooth sailing, baby. I'm ready. Woo!
Well, it's funny too, because knowing you, it's like, I don't want to bother you and I don't want to say too much, but I get that feeling where you want to be focused because it is only 15 seconds and it's your job. You have 15 seconds to do exactly what you're supposed to do, and everyone at home, I know I do it. I fully judge other people when they mess up in a short amount of time. And I'm
totally.
What? I'm like, you messed up 15 seconds of talking. How hard is it? It is really hard.
It is.
That feeling, but You crushed it per usual. I get so excited, like a total stage mom. I wait, I watch on the monitor. And then as soon as you're finished talking, I feel like I'm relieved, and it's like a whole thing. So I'm just excited for you to add yet another NFC championship to your resume, because they're not, as we see with Brady, 22 seasons, they come and they go really quickly. So let's dive into that for a second.
Hold on. And then let me just say the other thing people don't realize, because this is what I've been killing myself about for the last 2 days, which people don't get, is then you have the post game. Your first hit is the biggest one, and then the post game. And last couple years, I've had the losing interview because my team hasn't won. So this year, I got Matthew, and that's the one as the seconds are starting to tick down. You're like, okay, buzz. You're thinking, all right. This is it. And this is his first time. What am I doing? And you only get 3, right? But there's stress that's also with that. The 49ers are driving. I've got to pay attention. Okay, Aaron Donald is applying pressure to Jimmy Garoppolo. There's a pick. What's happening? Now go find Matthew Stafford. So I'm following him, but I also want to give him his time. But I also want him to know I'm right here. I'm right here, and I need to get you. Please don't go anywhere. And it was pretty great. He looks over at me, and he's like, I need to go get a hat. I said, okay, I'm just going to stay near you. So I stay near him, and you want to stay away from water bottles. I walked through offensive linemen, and I said, please don't squirt me. Please don't squirt me. These are all things that are happening. And then you're thinking, what's my first question?
What am I asking?
Right. As I'm doing it, I start to feel my right nostril starting to leak a little, and I'm thinking, come on. And I know they're not
like this.
Not at a time like this. And I know they're not showing me, but you got to think breath, questions, right nostril. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Matthew. I know we're friends, but I think my right nostril's starting to leak. This is bad.
Did you say that to him?
No, but I'm thinking it.
I was going to say that wouldn't surprise me if you did.
And right. And then as I'm in the car and we're leaving to go to the hotel and everybody's really quiet, I said, oh God. And everybody goes, what? And I go, I didn't ask him about 365 to the day. I didn't say a year ago today. I didn't bring that up. I didn't ask him about his defense. What was the other one the other night?
You're still thinking about these questions?
Oh, yeah. I was walking Howie the other day. Great story. Walking Howie yesterday morning, and, we're in Los Angeles, and my neighbor, who I don't really know, saw me, and he goes, great game yesterday. Thank you. Bent over, grabbed a double bagger of shit. Yep. And I thought to myself, I forgot to ask him about it's the year to the day. This is what I do.
Yeah, you obsess, because that's also, it's the competitor in you, and you want to be perfect and all that kind of stuff. You get a reaction after a guy is going to the Super Bowl, and that's all that matters. And you get real emotion, and so you can beat up on yourself, but you shouldn't. So what is the first question? Because even going back to the whole Richard Sherman situation from years ago, what is the moment that you decide what you're going to ask? Is it as you're walking to him? Is it at the time expires? Where's the first question coming from?
Great question. You have to kind of visualize. I mean, the one thing I was texting my dad the whole time, hey, if you've got anything, let me know. Joel Santos was standing there right with me. And Joel said, remember, he said, when I got traded, I wanted to play in meaningful games. That's it. If something would have happened on the field at that moment, I asked about that. But then we had this awesome shot with him as the defense is out on the field and they're trying to make a stop. He just, again, last week I talked about Aaron Rodgers wanting to puke, looked like he was having an outer body experience. And I wanted to know what that was like. And then I'm allowed to say there. And then he brought up the defense, because as I was leaving the field, I said to my dad, oh God, I didn't ask about the defense. But my dad said, well, he mentioned the defense right there. It's fine. A lot of devil's advocate you can play with yourself. A lot of Monday morning quarterbacking.
It's called obsessing.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
But that's, you're in the position you're in because you care enough even about the questions that you didn't get to ask. But to your previous point, you garner emotion, you get information, and you react to what happens next. So awesome moment for you. Again, another thing on your resume, go.
Before we get to Brady, and let's do it after this, I told you this, a bunch of people, I wanted to stay on the field. I wanted to hug people. I wanted to piss people off on the internet. And no, I'm kidding. I don't remember who he was. It happened really quick. It was a coach. He was crying. He came up to me and I thought he was going to be like, awesome job this year. He goes, I love the podcast. It was cool.
It was. There's Kelly and after she, hugs Matthew and the whole thing, we're on the field looking for you. I'm texting you on the field and I'm like, where are you? Like, we want to say hi. We want to give you all the thing. And you were already outro. Because you had to get in the car to go. But yeah, there was this really sweet girl that she came up and she was like, I love your podcast. I go, you are adorable. Stop it to anyone that cares enough to say that as we're on the field after the NFC Championship game. So a lot of fun there. A guy that's won a lot of AFC Championship games and an NFC Championship game on his resume. Tom Brady, after 22 seasons, he finally says it himself that he's walking away, doesn't use the word retire. So is the window still open? Is it not? In that concession speech, there's no word retire. So, as somebody,
I
never
was
said
wondering
it.
that.
So he, as the news was reported earlier this week, which Peyton Manning even said,
could he come back?
He's not going to like that news is reported because Tom Brady's being selfless would put himself in the position of the other two or the other four teams at that point that were still in contention for the Super Bowl. But anyways, news is reported. He's going to retire. Everyone's like, he hasn't said it. He finally on Monday takes to Instagram and says,
what'd you think about that on
walking
Saturday?
Away.
I have a lot of thoughts.
The report?
Yeah.
So I'm not in the breaking news business. I'm not Jay Glazer. I'm not Adam Schefter. I'm not, Chris Mortensen. I don't know what the protocol is on that. Like, are we two sources? We're three sources. When it's Tom Brady, I'd wait till Tom Brady told me that I could report it. But again, I'm not going to speak. I'm going to have an opinion on anything. But I don't know what the protocol is. So the individuals that reported it obviously felt like they could, verifying the news. But yeah, I just, with something like that and the greatest player of all time in the sport, I felt like he should have announced it. But what do I know? So that's my opinion on it. You?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I don't want it to be over now that you just said he never said retire. Maybe that it's not. I think he's going to go into ownership. I do, which will be exciting because that guy's not going to stay at home. He's gonna be at the office grinding it out, trying to figure out. I'd love to be your GM, Tom.
For those of you, I'm going to interject. Erin was very upset about this news.
I was.
You're much closer to him. I met him once. And
I'm
friends
bummed.
with him. But you were really, really upset when this came out.
I am upset.
Why?
Well, it's just The Last Dance was so cool to watch. And I was a kid. I wasn't in the industry. And I'm selfish. And I said it in my post today. I'm selfish. I don't want this to be over. This is my Michael Jordan. This is my history. This has been so cool to report on him. It's so cool to do these conference calls with him. He doesn't talk to us like everybody else. He breaks it all down. I almost put this in a post today. It's awesome when the stars just treat you like everybody else. They're just normal and they treat you. They should do that, but it's not the way it always is. Mm-hmm. And the access that he provides us when we cover him, all of us are texting each other when we are on a conference call with Tom Brady because he just talks to us.
Who's we all? You, Troy,
it's
Joe.
me, Troy, Joe, our producer, and our director. Mm-hmm. And we are all sitting there and Rinaldi, and we're on the phone, and he is just talking to us like we're his buddies from home. Mm-hmm. And he's breaking it down. And a lot of stuff we can't use for broadcast, but we're sitting there texting each other like, this is fucking awesome. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. He is fucking cool. Because it's Michael Jordan telling us this. It's Wayne Gretzky. It is one of the best it is the best to have ever played. And he's giving us this invite only VIP entrance seat to his
all the
life.
Wristbands.
It's
make
awesome.
It through security.
And I
There's
don't want
no
it to be over. I'm not ready. I'm upset. I don't want it to be over. I've enjoyed the access. I appreciate he has a family. I love his family, but I'm selfish.
The NFL's better when Tom Brady's playing, but the NFL is in good hands with a lot of, young talent and good guys. And there is a time to walk away. And watching some of the news coverage on it this morning, I liked Good Morning Football where Kyle, I think it was Kyle or Schrager, whoever it was talking about, maybe it was Chris, can I name them all? Was talking about
That's enough.
ability that he got to walk away on his own terms and not because he was hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, Peyton Manning was forced to leave the game because of his injuries. And, some of these guys don't get a choice and they don't get to do it on their terms and they don't get to walk away one game shy of the NFC Championship game again, right? I mean, that's Tom Brady went out on a last-minute drive and just fell short, whereas Michael Jordan went out in a Washington Wizards uniform.
I know.
And so it's that whole thing, too, is right off into the sunset. But it's cool. I mean, I feel different but the same as you. I didn't have the same access, not working his games, but just being able to, be a part of the NFL when he was a part of it for the last 22 years. I was looking at this today. I screenshotted it because I was just like, holy da. This 22 years, 7-time Super Bowl champion, 3 times NFL MVP, 6-time All-Pro, NFL's all-time passing touchdown leader, like on and on and on. And then they were like, you could break Brady's career into 3 parts and each part would stand alone as a Hall of Fame credential. 3 rings, 1 ring in the middle, 3 rings at the end. It's like this. Anyways, so I just thought that was cool. Like I
have 2 Brady moments in my life that one I've been vocal about, the other one I haven't, but I will today. One was my first sit-down interview with him in New England, and I was shocked he even said yes. I took a red eye from Dancing with the Stars to go do it. I didn't care. I practiced. I knew him personally from Montana, but this was my first sit-down, and I was on 0 sleep. I wanted to look fantastic. I couldn't smile through any of it because my lips were shaking so badly. And my dad, when I called him afterwards, he was like, "What, are you okay?" And I just started bawling, and he said, "Well, what's wrong?" And I said, "It's never going to get better than this."
Oh.
I interviewed the best player that's ever, put on a jersey in the NFL. And he's so wonderful, Dad. And I couldn't smile because my lips were quivering so bad.
No.
And I wrote him a thank you note and I told him that. And he's just the best. But one of the coolest moments off the field with Tom Brady was this past summer. We're in Montana. My husband, he's so great to my husband. And my husband goes and tries to catch passes from Tom in the summer, and
does
he comes
very
home
well, bruises to prove it,
abused, from TB12's footballs. But I went, and it was the final. My dad came to visit. And it was the final day Tom was throwing before he had to leave. And I said, "Dad, do you want to go watch Tom throw? Do you want to go meet him?" And he said, "Let's go do it."
Aww.
We rode down to the field, put my dad on a picnic table. Tom came over, talked to my dad for 15 minutes. I sat on the picnic table with my sister, severely hungover. And Tom said, "EA, I need you." And I said, "For what?" And he goes, you got to shag balls, girl. I don't have anyone out here." And I was like, "No." And I just thought to myself, I know how competitive he is. If I don't line these footballs up correctly, if I don't bring them back at the right time. So I sobered up right away. My husband would catch the ball. He would throw it to me. I would run it. I would put it in the bag. So this happened like 8 times. And then once the duffel bag was full, I said, "What do I do? What do I do?" Jared's like, "Go run it to him." I'd take the duffel bag. I'd run it over to Tom and Alex Guerrero. And Jared's like, "Lay him out." I'm laying out these balls. And I did this probably like 10 times. And each time I'd run the ball or the bag back, he's getting worked on by Alex. He's like, Thanks, EA. And I was like, "Best day of my life. No problem." And then I'd run back and get ready like I was Julian Edelman or Chris Godwin or Mike Evans. And like I had the biggest job in the world. And my sister was doing it as well out there with me. And the 3 of us got in the car on the way up to the house. And my dad goes, "That was awesome." And Kendra's like, "That was amazing." And I was like, "This is the best day of my life. I'm shagging balls for Tom Brady and I'm lining them up like I'm a legit ball boy."
You're
fucking awesome.
You were sending me texts. You were like, "Holy shit, I was so nervous I was going to mess something up." And I'm like, "Mess up what?" Like, you're just throwing balls. But even a summer workout in Montana, he took seriously. Yeah, so sad for the game of football because it's the greatest to ever do it. But what a gift we got, especially for someone like you who, covered him front and center.
Remember the shot of Andrea Kramer in The Last Dance that they showed where she was like this?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I was like that, but Saturday I was bummed. I know those guys have a job to do, but I just didn't think we needed that. I would have let the greatest of all time announce it himself.
Yeah. So Super Bowl 56 matchup is set. Cincinnati Bengals, Los Angeles Rams. Tom Brady's retiring. So much going on. Now, the most important question I have for you is reentry, sister. We talked about it last week. For those of you that were not listening last week, reentry is when Erin indoctrinates herself back into her household after being on the road for the past 22 odd weeks. And you are now in reentry mode. Are you ready?
I am. I have to leave out of town tonight for a work event, and I know it, but my closet is really messy. It's really bad. I still have not unpacked from Green Bay, San Francisco. My husband is being very, very patient, but I got to get to it.
Okay, so that's
it's hard.
That's
it's hard
on reentry. I am.
What about you?
I'm all over the place. I keep telling myself I'm going to slow down after the whole like stress of the mouth situation and the appendix and everything else in between. But I'm currently.
Your knee bone's connected to the.
I need a once over. I need a head check. I need a body check. But I am in, that's evidenced by this door behind me. I'm currently in Las Vegas for a Pro Bowl deal, which I'm really excited about because it's an awesome lineup of people. So Madden for EA Sports, a bunch of different guys like compete against one another. One of our favorites, we love Micah Parsons is here.
Yes.
Justin Jefferson's here. Derwin James, Nick
Tell
Chubb.
them all hi.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So that's why the view of the Luxor Hotel is right over there.
Great.
So that's exciting.
I'm going to be with Dak and Juju tomorrow.
Yeah, you got some stuff going on there. Yeah, so this is that time where we do a bunch of other things and then we'll take some time off. But as we wind down the podcast, I told you we'd have a special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, we've talked about her a lot, actually. Jillian Gregory, please report to duty. She's been kind enough to, I know, you're going to listen like this. She's been kind enough to join me here in Las Vegas. Then she's going to Dallas to be with you. Look at this one's hair.
Hello.
Say hello to the viewers.
Hi. Well, my weave needs to be changed. Like it's falling out of my head, but
you're doing great.
We have a few minutes, Jillian. Do you have any final thoughts about the weekend, your last weekend with Fox and the playoffs and how it all wrapped up?
Party. I can't hear.
You were sad when you were leaving the party?
Yeah, we had an after party after. And when I got in my Uber to leave, I got a little sad, even though I'm happy to be home and have a normal schedule. Mm-hmm. I got a little choked up because I spend so much time with these people for weeks.
Yes.
And I don't see anyone till next September, besides obviously the lovely Erin. But yes. It's so sad. Like, I'm going to miss Rich Russo and Rich Gross, you know? It makes me sad. All the riches. Like, there's 3.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing, Paul? Right there? Are you updating your phone? What are you doing?
I was checking some gossip that's coming out. We'll find out.
What's the gossip? Share it. You like how my headphones like this so Jillian can hear?
Yeah, I'm just getting a little intel.
Okay. Well, we'll look forward to next week's podcast. So the train carries on. Jillian and I will she'll work on covering up this acne. I've got a big breakout happening. Did your skin get better or worse in the off season?
I'm tired. It's got Jai. I saw Jai this past week, but it's got a bit to go. I mean, we need to get back on the train here. Yeah. But we're going to do all the things. I need to pump some water. I know you're on a way to a workout. I'm on a way to a workout. Like I said last night on the Calm Down podcast, IG, send us your questions, your concerns, your thoughts, all the things. I have time to get back to everyone. I'll be doing that instead of cleaning my closet.
Okay, we'll look forward to that. So the IG podcast, and also for those of you guys that weighed in on my conundrum with renting my house, thank you. I have decided because of your feedback to rent the house. And there we are. Maybe then we won't have to like schlep around, out here in the streets trying to make a buck. But anyways, thank you guys for downloading. Find iTunes, all the places. Subscribing. Yes, exactly. And then our Calm Down merch. For those of you that don't know, that's also available. I love a mug. And Erin's sweatshirt, I cannot wait.
Erin, that sweatshirt looks absolutely
Thanks, boo.
phenomenal.
Looks better on you, but I do love it. It's very cozy and soft. Available now on Fanatics, guys. Super Bowl wear by EA Gear. Get her.
Love.
I love it. So exciting week coming up. All the Super Bowl preparations. Send us your questions, comments, and concerns. Bye.
Bye. Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio.
For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.